Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the SIC Show, and I'm super pumped to be here. And this week we're going to talk about underwater photography epic fails, and I got my man B. How are you, brother? Dude, snorkel. Snorkel.
Oh, great. Thank you, guys. And this is going to be a great show. I think you guys are going to love it. We've got some really cool epic fail stories in the show.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is you're going to find out what we should have done, what we didn't do. Yeah, and a couple of the story I've got about something, I wasted so much money, mate, getting there, and I didn't get the shot. So
well, I killed this. So I'm going to show you guys what I should have done. So here we go. Let's jump right into it.
And what do you reckon about pink? I think it suits me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It brings out your feminine side.
I know it does.
Okay, let's jump in.
Boom.
The SIC Show. Share, inspire, create.com. Share.
All right, buddy. What have you got to share with us today?
Well, this image is one of my latest images. It's an image of a model, Lara, underwater, and I put it in there just to show you guys that you can actually get through these epic fails, have failures, and still create some amazing underwater photography.
Yeah, it's just amazing. You know what I love about the image is the fact that it's been taken up near the surface and her hair's all spread out underwater and it's all reflected off the surface. I really love that. Look, what time of day was that? And how did you have, what was your setup basically?
I think it was afternoon, if I remember right, just natural light. And I'd get the model to be really close to the surface because I want that reflection underneath the surface. So just like on a lake, if you get really close to the surface, things reflect off the top. They reflect off the bottom too.
Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
And I get her hair out like that, and it's really tough for models to actually pose underwater. It's
Okay.
But we'll keep that for another show. We'll do another show about models, photographing models underwater.
Yeah, mate, that's a beautiful image. And just one other question: was there any fill flash on that, or what?
I think I was using this flash on
camera.
this housing. Yeah, on camera.
Yeah.
I've actually tried off-camera lights underwater too, and if I remember right, I think I might have used a little pocket wizard to trigger 2 flashes outside the pool. I may have. I can't really remember on that one. It might have been the next night. I can't remember. This was a model shootout that I went to.
Yeah. Okay.
A year ago. So.
Yeah, it's an amazing image, and no, I don't. And that's another tip too. I don't know how the hell they get their makeup to stay on underwater as well.
Yes.
I mean, their lips are painted. I'm sure that's a really big deal and hard to do as well.
It is.
There must be another tip.
Body painter. You get a body painter to do the makeup.
Ah, there you go. Perfect.
There we go.
Awesome, guys. Epic image, mate. And thanks for sharing.
Oh, awesome.
Great.
And Johnny, what have you got to share with us?
Yeah, okay, so this image here you can see it's been taken at a local beach called Zenith Beach, right under Tomaree Head, which is one of the headland mountains in Port Stephens, and I love that location. It's just one of my most favourite spots of Port Stephens here. And this has been actually taken with a GoPro. Okay, so slightly overcast day, there is broken cloud, so you're getting that soft light that, the sort of, once the cloud goes in front of the sun, it sort of softens the light and it's still bright, and you can still see through the water. But basically, it's just nice soft light, not too harsh, And you can see what I love about this image is it's been shot. I've been in the wave with my little contraption that I'll show you a bit later on in the show, and I've shot the image into the barrel, and you can see there's little droplets of water coming down off the top of the lip. To be honest, guys, this wave is probably only this high, so surface terms is half, so it's a 1 foot wave maybe if you're lucky, 2 foot face, so really small swell, but because you're down in there with a really wide angle lens, it just gives you that sense of space and looks big. And yeah, it's just, look, GoPros are really incredible, but as you'll find out a bit later on the show with my epic fail, they aren't always the answer for underwater photography, but you can see you can produce nice stuff just from a GoPro.
Totally. And the question I've got, Johnny, is how did you fit into a 1 foot wave?
Yeah, well, sort of a bit like this sort of thing, but that's okay, you can do it.
Okay, there we go.
Anyway, it's all good. So there it is, guys.
They're awesome.
Thanks.
Really, I love that image, and just love the drops falling down like that, and the way you can see down the barrel. You can see all the way down the wave. It's just a great shot, and the mountain in the background, Tomaree Headland, and a little bit of the beach, and some blue sky. Awesome shot.
Yeah, and the other thing with the GoPro is you don't exactly know what you're shooting, so it's a bit of a shoot and hope. So you try and put yourself in the right place and get the shot.
Shoot and pray.
Shoot and pray. I like it.
That's it. Yeah.
And actually, it's shh and then
okay.
All right, moving right along.
All right, let's get into the stories.
Yeah, let's do it.
Inspire.
All right, Johnny, what have you got to inspire us, and what's the story behind this image?
Oh man, this is such a great, inspiring story, and it was, you know, something I'll always remember. But the problem is I didn't prepare properly.
Oh,
so basically, one of my, what am I thinking? My long-term goals, your bucket list. That's what I'm after, the bucket list. So one of my bucket list goals was to swim with whale sharks. And here in Australia, we have a big reef on the Western Australian coast called the Ningaloo Reef. And I actually, last year actually, it was, I travelled over there and travelled, you know, I think it was like I've travelled to Perth, and then it was like an 8 or 10 hour bus ride up to Exmouth, and then, yeah, you go out on it's a big deal anyway. So these whale sharks, if you don't know what they are, they're massive, they're actually the biggest fish in the ocean, is what they're called. Yeah, so it's not actually a shark, it is a shark, but they don't have teeth. They're not, yeah, so they're big spotted, they eat.
So they don't consume you?
No, they won't eat me, and even though I look tasty to them, I'm sure. But anyway, you get to swim with them, that's the whole point. And I wanted to, of course, being a photographer, I wanted to capture this and keep these memories forever, you know. But unfortunately, my preparation just wasn't there, mate. As you can see by the couple of images I got to show you here, they're grainy, they're washed out, there's noise everywhere, there's no contrast. And the reason I had all this issue, guys, was because all I took along was a GoPro. So I didn't test the GoPro. That was the main thing. I didn't test it here. Other than those few images you see I took in bright light. And the reason why the GoPro did not perform over there was there's so much algae in the water that the whale sharks eat. The
visibility.
That's what I'm after. The visibility. Hang on a sec, coffee. Oh, Jesus. Coffee.
I'm just fixing my visibility here. Should I spit on them?
No, that's
right. Put them back on my head. No, not good.
Anyway, the visibility was really poor because of all the food in the water. And the other thing was it was an overcast day, so really, really low light. And of course, little GoPro, not going to happen. And you know, GoPros, they perform well with video. I mean, not in low light either, but they're mainly for video. But of course, Johnny, being Mr. Shortcut, didn't have an underwater housing or a camera, or didn't hire one. That's the other option too, you know. I should have prepared better that way. I just went with my GoPro, and you can see amazing, you know, creature and people in the images. But the problem is the quality is just awful. Totally awful. So
that's an epic fail.
That is a major epic fail. So a life-changing experience, and I miss capturing it. You know, like there's a good chance that I may never get to go and do that again. I spent all that money getting there and had a couple of days of travel to get there because it's all the way over the other side of Australia, and then it's really a remote part of the coast up there, and then never alone the cost of the tour to go out and do this. And major epic fail. All
right, later on in the show, you're going to give us some tips on how to avoid an epic fail like that.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, now let me tell you about my epic fail, guys. You want to flick over to that image? There we go. All right, so I also had a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I went with a friend to Samoa, a few islands in the Pacific. We went on a surfing trip, and I took my camera, as always, underwater housing, because I wanted to get some photos underwater of waves and surfers and all that stuff. And we went out for a few days. I think we were there for 10 days or so, and I got some beautiful underwater shots, and we'll throw in a few now of surfers underwater and
amazing images.
Paddleboard underwater with the sun above that. I was trying to get the backlit surfer surfing in a barrel with the light on the other side and the surfer going through the barrel. I've got a couple of those, but here's the epic fail. And it's a expensive epic fail. It's a couple of $1,000 epic fail. So I had my underwater housing, this one over here. It's a Aquatech underwater housing, and everything was going really well, except in Samoa it's really humid and hot. It's like 30 degrees Celsius on average every day and night. And it's like 100% humidity. It rains, you know, probably 3 or 4 times a day. And I had my camera, my 5D, original 5D, this body, in my housing. And I would paddle out, and I'd always check my housing for a leak before I go out. So I'll put it underwater, and then I'll turn it up like this to the light, so that if there's any water, it will actually pool in the bottom area of the housing.
And not touch the camera,
I've got a plate, Perspex plastic on the back here, so I can see if there's any water in the housing. And I always do that. I check it a number of times. You know, you test it and you look and you test and you look. Okay, so the housing is great. It's not losing any water, or it's not leaking at least. However, in this front port over here, right on there where you actually can control the zoom, there was a leak. There was a crack, and I think it happened when I actually went over to Samoa, because this was in my not my carry-on, my check baggage, and you know, airplanes and baggage handlers. So there was a tiny little crack in there. So a drip every maybe 3 or 4 seconds would go in, like one drop of water. Yeah. But because the camera and the original 5D generates quite a lot of heat when you're photographing, it generates a lot of heat inside the water housing, because there's obviously no coolant in there.
It's humid outside too.
Humid, and when you're underwater, the water is probably 26 degrees Celsius, so it's really nice and warm, like a bath. So what would happen was the drops would vaporize as soon as they entered. So even though I looked inside, I looked at the underwater housing, I didn't see any leaks, I didn't see any pooled water. However, all my images were becoming foggy. And I was wondering what was going on. And obviously, with underwater photography, you actually lick the port.
Oh, really? The front?
The front. You lick the front, like this. Okay. So when you come out the water, the water surface water just runs off, so you actually don't get drops on the port. And I was looking at that, and I thought, geez, it's really foggy. I wonder what's going on. You know, maybe I should paddle back in. And I was quite a long way out. It probably took me 15 minutes of swimming to get out beyond the reef to actually photograph my friend Chris in the barrels.
Yeah, right.
And anyway, the epic fail is this image, the black and white with the barreling wave and a couple of fish at the bottom and the light coming through, was the last image that this camera ever took. Yeah. Man. So the moisture and the water vapor and the sea salt got into the electronics of this camera and fried it.
Oh, damn.
When I took it back to Canon, back here in Australia, they said severe internal corrosion.
Salt water, man.
So rest in peace, baby. This camera served me really well, and it died in Samoa because I guess I wasn't checking things all the time.
You weren't checking things, yeah.
And I wasn't thinking, because I wasn't.
You're in the moment too. Yeah. Like you see some of these images, guys. They're just amazing. If I was out there photographing, I'd be just going my hardest, you know, enjoying the moment, taking the images, not keeping an eye on my gear like I should have. I would have done the exact same thing, I bet.
You're also like worried about the environment around you, because these big waves are coming through. There's reef, there's fish. I mean, you're trying to get into the right spot to catch the surfer coming towards you, or just past you, and the wave breaks over you. I mean, you're basically in the impact zone. And a couple of times you actually get sucked over and get drilled in the impact, and you just hope that your camera's okay. I mean, obviously grab onto it. I had a little strap that goes around my wrist, so in case I lose the water housing, I don't actually lose it. It doesn't roll up on the rocks. So there's my epic fail. I got some beautiful images, but were they worth the $3,000 or $4,000
at the time for that camera?
To get another camera when I had to come back to Australia.
I bet you had to repair your housing too. Yeah.
I did the repair job, as you can see.
Mr. DIY. I think that's your new gangster name. DIY.
Oh, good. Yes,
I like that, man.
Create.
I make a lot of my own stuff because we're quite rural here.
Actually, dude.
Get it. Okay.
Hey, I'm going to get it. I'll be back.
Johnny's going to get it.
I'm just going to go down the stairs, guys.
Johnny's going to show you my first underwater camera housing.
Mr. DIY. Here it is, boys and girls.
I'll take that.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Brent Mail DIY camera housing.
Yeah. I made that.
You know what? I don't know how the hell you didn't lose a camera in this bad boy. What's up with that?
I can't believe you made this. I've got another epic fail story from this one, photographing a major surfing event here in Australia, and it actually filled up. The water filled up a third of the way inside because I went too deep, and the front port actually got pushed in. Oh, because I had it on the inside. Yeah. Now I've got it on the outside.
See?
So, yeah, you learn.
Trial and error.
And that was my 5D Mark. My 1D. 1D Mark 1.
Wow. So yeah,
3 megapixel.
Yeah, but I bet it cost the bomb back in the day. Yeah.
But the camera survived.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go, Mr. DIY gangster. That's classic, man.
All right, Johnny, so what should you have done to not have that epic failure?
I know, tell me about it. I can't believe this once in a lifetime thing, I've stuffed up basically.
Yeah.
And this is a really good thing is planning. One thing I didn't know either is you can't use a flash. So even if I had brought a camera that was, a smaller camera, you can't use flash photography on the whale sharks. Yeah. It's actually a restriction swimming with the whale sharks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that is another thing. So, I should have gone with a DSLR where I could crank the ISO and still get usable images. That's one thing, and I didn't even think about, all the clarity of the water and the fact that it was going to be overcast to use a little GoPro, tiny little sensor that's made for video, and I wanted to take stills. So that's my epic fail. What I should have done is either gone and seen my mate Brent and borrowed his housing and had a test with it here and gone over there and shot with that. Or I could have hired and got it shipped over there as well. I could have hired something here, gone out, had a test with one of my Nikon cameras, and then hired and got them to send it over there and pick it up in Perth on the way through. So I could have planned a hell of a lot better for this trip, and I didn't. I mean, I'm not an underwater photographer, and I'm happy to admit that. But I still could have come home with way better images, just with a little bit more preparation and testing. That's what it comes down to, man.
So prepare and test. Great. Prepare and test.
That's it. Johnny. Yeah, that's it. Especially when you're spending a lot of money to travel.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, what I should have done, guys, was just be aware and think and actually continually monitor when I was out there. So why is my camera fogging up on the inside? Could there be a leak? Should I go in and just check it? And it would have saved me. Another tip when you're doing underwater photography is put a highly absorbent cloth or something into your underwater housing at the bottom so it can actually absorb the water vapor inside your housing so that it stays nice and dry inside there.
Could you have hired another camera body and taken it with you, or borrowed another camera body? So what did you do? Did you carry extra cameras at the time? So when you lost that body, was that it for your trip?
That's it. That's the only camera I had at the time.
Yeah,
and this is I'm running a portrait studio. Everything depends on that camera. It's the only body I had, and when I came back, I had to buy a new one and ship it in and get it in really quick because I had photo shoots already booked in. Yeah. And I actually got two because I got a backup after that too. Yeah. So I mean, that's a good plan. I know these things cost a bomb, but even if you had a hired, something from Borrow Lenses or something like that, a second body just for that trip, just as a backup, it's just so important to plan right down to even the littlest thing, And guys, when it comes to travel insurance, I had travel insurance for if my gear got stolen. So if someone stole it or smashed it somehow and it went missing, they would have covered a new camera. However, because it got damaged, water damage, read the fine print in your travel insurance, they wouldn't cover it. Yeah, I tried. I mean, no way, they wouldn't hear about it.
Not only that, I found with travel insurance when shopping around traveling is often, the amount of money they'll let you claim on camera gear is nowhere near the cost. Often it's really, really, really low, like half the cost of the amount of gear you're carrying. So, that's another thing to watch out when you're grabbing your travel insurance. Definitely. It's, I mean, not only it's important to have it for your health, if something goes wrong in another country, but, man, we carry thousands and thousands of dollars of camera gear, and, most of us can't afford to replace it. It's just... and a lot of us, it's what we need, the tools we need to do our job, to earn a living. So it's really, really important.
Definitely, guys. So if you've got any epic fails, especially when it comes to underwater photography, leave comments below and let us know what you think about this epic fail series, because we want to do quite a few epic fails. We've all had failures, and I think we all learn from our failures. And if we don't learn from our failures, then we're stupid, right?
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, it's all about sharing with you things that we've done wrong and what we would have done different next time, so that if you ever get in that situation, you've got a few tips and you can learn from what we did wrong, and what we should have done right next time. So
definitely, guys.
Awesome. Been another great show, mate. Guys, if you love what we're doing and you've subscribed in iTunes, please, as always, leave us some comments there. That would be wonderful. And if you've got anyone you want to interview or any other topics you want us to cover, please leave a comment under this show on the blog at shareinspirecreate.com. And yeah, man, another awesome show. And dude, you need to get rid of those goggles, man. This show's over, bro. Where's the snorkel? Do the outro. Here we go.
Okay. All right, guys. Catch you later. See you.
Have a great time. See you guys. Bye.
To find out more, go to shareinspirecreate.com.